forever?
Man, I really did. I loved playing Minesweeper.
Like she thinks.
Well, she didn't watch it?
No.
What?
She lets you in a
What?
bear.
Yeah.
Bear bathroom. You're not allowed to fly. I'm gonna file. Yeah, we have a story. We don't plan these.
No.
We've never. It's not scripted.
This is not scripted.
Never.
I mean,
But, like-
we did not script. We just had a few takes, and we still can't get it
Facts.
right. If it was
it's fire,
scripted,
though.
if
It's
it was
fire,
scripted,
though.
yeah, if it was scripted, it wouldn't take takes.
All right,
you know,
here,
we
we'll
wouldn't
do
mess
it.
up.
We'll do it. We're not gonna restart. But this is the take. All right, ready?
Man, it's like a minefield out there, isn't it?
All these wires, bro.
Yeah, really. You got all our
Dangerous.
berry.
Luke, did you play Minesweeper ever?
Man, I really did. I loved playing Minesweeper when I was younger.
Now, technically, this is scripted because we already came up with what we were going to say before.
But who cares?
Who scripted it?
We did. Technically, not on paper,
Where's the
but
writing? There's no proof.
all right.
All right.
I'm just saying. Continue.
Well, this is going to be one blockbuster hit because welcome back to episode number 58 of Speaking Sporadically, the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Number 8 on YouTube.
Number 8.
It's our 8th
Well,
video.
No, that's not right.
Whatever.
That's not right because we have other ones posted,
Yeah,
and either
I
way,
know.
this is still the 9th video.
Ignore that. Sorry, he's learning. He's new.
Luke gets so tired of that joke.
You know what else is new? The fresh buzz.
There's fresh buzz.
Yeah, that's it. That's the newness.
Show them the drip. Front view. Oh, it's so nice.
The top's still long.
fade,
The
though.
hardcore fade all the way up the sides.
Yeah.
It's probably the best thing Pure Pressure's ever done to me.
Well, you answered my question. What compelled you to get this cut, Luke?
Does that work?
At work, not doing anything. They kept talking about how I need to get a haircut. All right, fine. I'll get a haircut.
It looks good.
And I've got many compliments. But you want to know who hates it more than anyone?
Your mother.
My mother.
Always happy.
She hates it.
Because you're her little boy, and she's seen you all with the curly head for.
I know she's not
forever.
watching this, so. Hi, Mom, though, if you are.
She better. If you are, bless up.
Speaking of which, if you are here, welcome back. If you're new here, or if you aren't new here but you haven't hit the subscribe button, do that. Subscribe.
Also, what are you doing?
Like,
Hit that little bell icon so you don't miss an upload.
it's just easier. It's just easier.
Yeah.
Also, I've got like this past couple weeks, I've got a few questions. Like, and people ask, like, is this stuff scripted or do we ever plan stuff out? Like, even people I know. And for you that you're new here or somewhat new, we just want to remind you that this is completely unscripted.
Unedited.
Normally, there's
Wait,
5.
hang on. Where does it say that in the notes? That, like, I missed that line somewhere.
Oh.
Let's just restart the script from the top.
All right.
Restart the script. No.
No. Sit back down.
But as I was saying, usually there's 5 of us. It's just 3 of us now. You got Zur, Devin,
It's Luke.
Jacob should be coming, and then Trey should also be coming later.
He ought to be out here soon.
So they'll be out here. But yeah, we're just 5 friends that sit down and talk about whatever and let the conversation lead to wherever. Hence the name Speaking Sporadically, because we speak sporadically.
You know what's weird? Did we ever fiddle with the idea of sporadically speaking?
Yes, we did.
All right, because every time I look it up in YouTube, I type that in first. And
Really?
It never comes up.
Because we talked about it. When me and Sherm were talking about the name, we were at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Oh, boy.
And like we were both talking about it, and we're like, sporadically speaking, speaking sporadically, and we're like, yeah. And then thank God, because I go
another
home
one.
a few weeks later that's called sporadically speaking, and I was like, because
And
we
you know
like
what?
already made our name and did a whole bunch of work
You know
before
what?
we even looked.
Thank goodness that we went with speaking sporadically, because isn't the sporadically speaking one, like, that only lasted a few months, right?
Yeah, I don't remember. Like I don't
It only
see
has
it too
like
much.
4 or 3 episodes, yeah?
Yeah, I don't think it's not a huge podcast. I don't think
Well, it's over now. I think they gave up.
they might have.
Moved
I'm
on.
not sure.
Thank goodness. We've outlasted a podcast, boys. We're
Yes.
moving up in the world. That
We're
was our
so good.
competition, too. Direct competitors.
Same
Yeah.
name,
Basically,
pretty much.
Yeah,
Yeah. Did it better.
Except we're just better. We're
still going.
tenacious.
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 Yeah.
Unrelenting.
Have you guys seen the movie Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny?
Dude, Tenacious D might be in the top 5 bands like my favorite. Tenacious D, probably top. Jack Black he's so talented in everything. He's hilarious. He's a good actor, like in serious roles or funny roles. It doesn't matter. Good voice actor. His voice inflection's crazy. Kung Fu Panda, legendary.
Yeah.
And then his singing voice is incredible. He can do
he can belch.
his what's it called? Like range is so wide, and he can what is it? He can just like manipulate his voice so crazily.
Yeah.
But that being said, no, never seen the movie. But I've seen all of like the music videos, and of course I know all the songs.
Yeah, they're all kind of like intertwined, like they're connected.
I encourage you to listen to, if you haven't or you don't know what we're talking about. Obviously, you probably know who Jack Black is, but he probably is still part of the band. Like they still do stuff.
Yeah, probably.
I remember I saw a live concert where they did one of their songs as like a music, like a video kind of deal, and it was pretty recent.
Okay.
But no, I encourage you to listen to some of the songs. So the band is Tenacious D, and what do you say the best song? What's a good starter to just get into it? You said "Pick of Destiny" the movie.
Mm-hmm.
So
what's the most famous song? I'm trying to think of
the
name.
Hazel Boss is a good one, but that's like it kind of has like a story to it.
Yeah.
So that one's weird. And by the way, these are like kind of explicit. Some of them are. I really like Tribute, because that one, it tells a story, but you don't need anything in between. There's Wonder Boy, which I think is his probably best one, like with his voice, because he manipulates it so well. There's another one.
I don't know many of the songs.
There's one about
like
his
the names.
origin. I can't remember what it is, though. I feel bad. Beelzebub Boss is funny. Tribute is good. And Wonder Boy is like probably their like most professionally made one. They're all super good. Just look up Tenacious D and look up a few of the songs if you're interested.
Hey,
They're
you
awesome.
want to know something?
Yeah.
There's 5 minutes every day where I have no idea what you're talking about. This is one of those moments.
Really?
I have no clue what you're
Dude, I
talking
love
about. I'm not gonna lie.
I haven't listened to him too much, but I know him and I've seen the movie, and the movie is great.
The movie's good.
It's funny. It's like a weird funny. Like I'm gonna see if I can remember the story of it. It's been a long time, but basically there was this magical pick that was in this insanely secure museum, and they try to steal it or something because. Did the devil come before and like force them to steal it, or did like the devil? No, the devil is no. So they went to go steal it, just because I think they were just kind of both low on their luck. He found another guy, and they thought they could be amazing and be one of the greatest guitar and musicians of all time if they got the pick. So they went in and broke it, but then the guitar devil. And like the movie's pretty cheesy. Like they have some parts where it's like kind of fake, and like this like a CGI devil comes up and he like tries to battle him so he can get the pick, and they like have a guitar battle and they like fight. I think
Is that like the Jack Black one where it's like the picture of the devil comes up behind him and it's like, I'm a really big fan meme. You know that one?
Yes,
probably.
That's okay.
I don't know what meme you're talking
I
about.
haven't seen you haven't seen that meme?
That's where it's from. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I still don't know the movie, but I know that meme.
Yeah.
It's really funny.
Again, I've never seen the movie, but
I would just like to say I'm a big fan.
Either.
So I can follow the storyline pretty well through the videos of that movie, because their songs reach beyond that.
Yeah.
I think they had 2 movies, or one was like a series of like mini whatevers. Anyways, yeah, continue.
But that's really all I remember. It's been a while. We have to rewatch it. Then.
It's just that would be fun
because there's like a lot of their songs they play like in the movie,
and it's rock.
Yeah,
It's rock.
It's rock.
It's sick. Some of it's actually metal.
It's fast. It's it's pretty.
I'd say the devil. Whenever the devil's there, he does metal, and then Jack Black and his companion JB. No, that's Jack Black. Anyways, I don't know. His companion are like rock and roll, so it's kind of different, but it's the same kind of energy.
Yeah,
it's fun. It's just such hijinks.
What's
but
that
with
mean?
Music. It's good.
What's that mean?
Hijinks? Hijinks is like, I don't know.
It's like a theft.
Well, I would say hijinks is like something that's up to no good, but I feel like hijinks is just like such random occurrences that are like very outlandish. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like the movie is full of hijinks.
Okay.
So like the events are very outlandish, and like their solutions to like like whatever's going on around them is very unimaginable.
Hijinks means playful, mischievous, or rowdy activity.
Okay.
Playful or rowdy. Okay. So there's hijinks in it, but it's also like a just very fake and out there movie.
Which can be really funny and targets a really wide.
In a good way.
It's a good way.
Yeah.
Because like even from the beginning, they don't really set it up serious. Like they have fun. It's a good movie.
Yeah. The whole idea of their band is that they're actually talented.
Yeah.
But they use their talent to make ridiculous songs.
Yeah.
But they still sound good.
Yeah. Like they kind of like base their band kind of like a joke or just to like have fun, but they're actually good, and people are like, whoa, this song is crazy, but
and
it's pretty good.
Based off I've never been to a concert of theirs, but based off of the one music video I saw of them at a concert, they set it up almost like a comedy show, and then they play music in between. It's really cool. It's unique.
Sounds very unique. So
Just like you.
something thanks. So something Isaiah wanted to talk about was the Johnny Depp trial with Amber Heard.
So I'm really invested in it. I found myself I guess in the past I got a little busy, but in the past month or so I found myself in free time just like hopping on TikTok or whatever and like finding the live. There's like a bunch of live streams that just do nothing but like live stream the trial. And I found myself just watching it, even like the boring parts. I just watched it, and it was so interesting to me, like all the evidence brought up and stuff. And it's been going on for ages, but we've never talked about it, so I was kind of excited to talk about it.
Yeah. I haven't been following it too much.
I don't know what the whole thing's
Really?
about even. I just know everyone hates Amber Heard, and I can get
Yeah.
behind that.
So
Like I've seen quite a few TikToks and things about it, people explaining it and like talking about it, and like I get the basis of the trial, but not the specifics really.
So I feel bad because I don't know the names of many of the lawyers, but the gist of everything, in case you're like, and you don't know anything about it, Johnny Depp, huge actor, loved by everybody. He's really like eccentric, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he's also genuine, and he's a great guy. And like everybody can attest to that. Like everybody in the acting industry and like fans that he's met and stuff like that can attest to that. Like his bodyguards and like everybody. That being said, he has had a history of like, you know, like a little bit of drug abuse and like alcohol, but what actor hasn't?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, really.
Like Robert Downey Jr. was in it bad for a long time. Of course, he's out of that. But and then Amber Heard has been an actor for a long time as well, and like a model, I think. And she technically has had a history of like not like being very toxic. Like there's a video out there of her doing an interview for an older, like a lesser known movie, and she was like just like really rude to either her assistant or someone just working there, and like it kept interrupting the interviewer and stuff like that. She like never really answered questions. So like that's just like one example of her ages ago, before this even ever came out, of her being just like really toxic. And then she had a prior relationship before she had a relationship with Johnny Depp where she was found to be abusive and stuff like that. So that's what was like leading, like that's what people have like kind of identified the two by. Like Johnny, like he's been accused of being very abusive to her, and yet everyone says he's a great guy, and then she's claiming to be the victim, and yet everybody kind of knows that she's been abusive herself and not like the greatest person. So within the trial, it's very, for the people watching, it's very one-sided. Like everybody seems to like have their opinion, and they're not like there's nothing that anybody can do to change their minds. And I would have to agree. Like obviously, there's like not been a single bit of evidence that he would hurt her, except for here's Jacob.
Hey Jacob.
That except for like there's one where he was like he like might have had some anger issues and he was drinking a lot, but he never like touched her or anything. You know what I mean? And it, like even towards the end of that video, he tried to de-escalate the situation and leave. So that's the gist of it. She's claiming
he was getting abusive.
She originally sued him, or she claimed at first that he had been abusive. Then she sued him for being abusive. Didn't go through, obviously, because there wasn't enough evidence. Now he's suing her, and this is the big trial that's going on right now. He's suing her for defamation because obviously, like, with Hollywood and the way things are right now, like if you're even accused or like if someone whispers the fact that you've been abusive at all, like you're done.
You'll get canceled.
Especially with Disney, because he was obviously with Pirates of the Caribbean. That was probably his. Even though he doesn't like blockbusters, that was probably his breakout. Like
movies.
Yeah, like everybody knows who Johnny Depp is because of this. Even though I'd say he's more well respected for other roles, but everybody knows who he is because of that. I think
it's either that or Willy Wonka. Because which one wasn't Willy Wonka first?
Willy Wonka was. I don't think so. I feel like Willy Wonka was like 2008 or something.
It might have been after.
No, it was
Pirates of the
05.
Caribbean was 2001.
Yeah, I was actually not to say. I think
Willy Wonka's like 05.
Yeah, so Pirates of the Caribbean would have been first,
Never
but
mind.
then they had a series of movies after that kind of like solidified it.
Because there's like, what, 6 Pirates of the Caribbean?
There was supposed to be more.
There's only 5.
Yeah, there's only 5. There was supposed to be more. But obviously, because of the allegations,
No
Disney
way.
cut them, cut him out entirely.
I think I've heard him say personally too that he will never make another one. Unfortunately,
if they offered him either $300 or $500 million and like 1 million alpacas, is like his word or something like that, he would never go back because of how honestly like rude they've been. Like, I know it's Disney and they got to be really careful about what they do and who they hire, but based off an allegation alone, and especially one that like they didn't even wait to see the results of.
Yeah, really.
Like, as soon as he was accused, he was done.
Yeah, I mean, and Disney just fumbled probably a $15 billion movie.
Oh, they
Big fumble.
They messed up bad there, because now people obviously it's gotten even bigger now that he's suing for defamation, and he's clearly like the people's champion right now. And he's held his head so high throughout the whole thing that it's hard for Disney to. It's got to be hard for Disney to maintain their stance that their decision was good, even though they were kind of defending their image when they first did
It's impossible for them because that's a huge win for them.
Yeah, and
If they could have made another one.
Yeah, and especially if like once the smoke cleared and if they still would have had the contract with him, they would have looked even better than they do now, because they stuck by his side. Like, what's the cologne or the cologne company, like Dior? Dior. They stuck with him the whole time. People are going crazy for it right now because they stuck with him. Like, they love this company, not necessarily because like their products, but because they stuck with the guy that they respect and they care so much for.
Dude, and I have to say, he looks like amazing. Like his fashion and his hair and everything.
He does. He's looked amazing his entire career.
Yeah, really.
He really has. I saw a picture of him and Robert Downey Jr. like way before like he landed a Pirates of the Caribbean role and stuff like that. He was in smaller roles, like probably around the like Edward Scissorhands kind of era with Tim Burton, and like I did not realize Robert Downey Jr. Like, I'm sorry, Mr. Downey, but you've had a glow up since then. We'll put it like that. But Johnny Depp has looked amazing for forever.
Yeah. But back to like the defamation thing.
Oh, yeah.
Like, and yeah, Disney, you could say Disney fumble, but then again, like everyone does that. Like the NFL is huge on that too. Like NFL teams, if someone starts getting a little bit of allegations or whatever, they've cut them right away.
I would
they
say
don't
the
start
opposite,
'em.
dude.
I feel like,
if you're a superstar, so like if you would compare, Depp's stardom to like a superstar in the NFL league, I mean, they don't do much. I mean, Deshaun Watson, they haven't gave him a suspension yet.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, but
I think there's so much more.
They didn't play him though. I was talking like as soon as the first allegation come out, the Texans basically cut him. Like he was still on their team, but like
Gone.
he was not practicing, he was not playing. Like the second allegations came out, and they could have been the tiniest little whispers that meant nothing.
I mean, those were that's true, but
I mean, they could have delayed for Disney. They could have just delayed production.
They could have.
Instead of-
Probably would have been their better
Yeah.
move.
It
But then,
been the
like,
best possible.
Alvin Kamara, are the Saints going to play him? He's facing battery charges
Yeah.
right now from the Pro Bowl in Las
Yeah.
Vegas.
I mean,
And the
No
Saints
way.
haven't came out and said a single thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I think as of right now, I think they're fine because it's off season. But when the season starts, I think they have to make a decision. If he was, proven innocent or guilty by that time, will affect what their decision is.
In my lifetimes, I've seen NFL players get bigger suspensions from the organization. So not from a team standpoint for, like betting on themselves and gambling.
Yeah,
rather
for
than
breaking league.
League
league
rules.
rules rather than like
Law.
actual criminal charges.
Yeah.
Like Pete Rose is never going to be in the MLB Hall of Fame while he's alive, just because he bet on
He bet on
himself,
himself.
Yeah.
or his manager bet on him. Like, which sucks because Pete Rose is like one of the all-time greats. He's up there.
Yeah.
I still don't understand that. I'm sorry. If you bet on your own success, how is that affecting other people?
It's more.
You could
for-
also like bet on your own failure.
But he
Yeah.
didn't.
He didn't, but it's
He
just
always bet on himself.
no. If you bet, like you can bet on yourself and say like I'm gonna bet the under, like you're gonna do bad.
Did he do that?
I don't know.
He
I don't know.
He always the only thing he bet on was his team winning.
Yeah, he always bet for success.
I still don't think. I don't think they can justify it because people are going to be skeptical if players are betting anyway. In this gambling industry, billion and billion dollar industry, so like the big people in Las Vegas, they can't allow it because so many people would be skeptical of it. And once you lose that structure sturdiness it has,
exactly.
kind of just
I
falls
got you,
apart.
I got you.
Like you have to either cut it off entirely or not. And
Because
then if
sports
you don't-
betting's just getting big again.
Right.
Finally, like states are finally like allowing it because they realize how lucrative it is and the whole thing. So you got to have strict guidelines on what's right and what's wrong.
Now, the one thing I would say for the league is like, they suspend players so heavily for betting on themselves and breaking those protocols. But then like someone could use PEDs. It just happened. DeAndre Hopkins got caught using PEDs, and whether that was because it could have been accidental. Like it happens. Like sometimes it just get tested and it pops up. But he only got a 6-game suspension. But then you see, what's his name, Calvin Ridley, lose his entire season for it. What's more jeopardizing to the game? Players using substances that clearly give them an advantage, or a player gambling?
I mean, in the league's eyes, the gambling because it's all about the money. So
Mhm.
I know, but don't you feel fair? Don't you feel that it's unfair if you're gambling against Arizona, and you could say, yeah, I could gamble for Arizona, but it would feel unfair if you gambled against Arizona, and then it came out and like, oh, this player's using PEDs. Oh, well, I lost that bet, maybe because DeAndre Hopkins was able to catch over, the DB I bet on because
it's true.
he was on PEDs, and I never knew about that, and that it just came out.
Yeah.
I feel like that's almost just as unstable
Yeah.
for the league. I don't think like one should be greater than the others. They should at least be equal suspensions.
I don't know. I'm trying to like debate them morally and just like which one do I think is worse.
Honestly, probably using substances is probably worse than gambling.
That's how I look at it.
From
Like a morally standpoint,
Yeah.
like a moral standpoint.
From like a financial
'cause
standpoint.
I still have an issue if you're betting against yourself to lose. Like if you play for the Reds and you say that the Reds are going to lose by X amount, like I have an issue with that because then you can just
yeah,
throw.
because then you're throwing the game.
Because then you can just throw.
But normally that doesn't.
against yourself.
Yeah.
and you-
But as long as there's like records of you betting for yourself, it shouldn't be as bad.
I think any type of betting or gambling is like just as bad. Like that's what I was saying earlier, where they cut it off completely. So even if you did bet for
Yeah.
your team to win, it's just as bad as if you bet for your team to lose. So that's why I kind of think Calvin Ridley's gambling is worse than D-Hop using substances because those substances do help and give you a little advantage, but it's not like anything major. And he hasn't been doing it long. If this is his first time
from the
getting
statement
tested.
he came out and said it sounded like accidental.
Yeah.
You know?
But like let's assume that it wasn't. It could have been like what? How often do they get drug tested?
I'm assuming they
gotta be
like,
often.
At least once a
month.
year, right?
Yeah, once a month.
I
And
was
then they
say,
can have,
so he probably was only using it for maybe a month, couple months at max.
And then he also was coming off that injury.
Yeah.
So-
So I don't think it would have gave him that big advantage.
In
Not
my
as
eyes,
big as
It was most
gambling.
like it was probably like a team doctor said, "Hey, take this, it'll help," and then somehow the team doctor wasn't able to see
like certain chemical in it that would trigger
maybe
it.
this one substance that's on the 50 substance ban list.
Yeah, because isn't
they
there
took.
some basic food that'll like trigger you off for weed if you do a drug test?
yeah, there is.
Or
I
is
don't
it
remember what it
nicotine?
is.
It's like it's like weed or nicotine. It's like a drug that you get commonly drug test, and it's like a basic food that people say like, "Yo, don't eat this," because it
I've
will
heard
sometimes
that.
trigger it off.
I have heard that. It sounds right.
I felt like you told me that.
I
I probably
I
did.
took a test the other day.
Pretty good chance of that.
I don't know. Yeah, try to look that up real fast because I swear there's something like that. So that's what I kind of bet D hops was, just like an accident,
Yeah.
like that really set it off.
It's just a
But-
chemical compound that just didn't work right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do 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 do.
Yeah. I'm sure there's so many things that can get detected on it. You know.
And obviously you can have false positives and stuff too.
Yeah. Well,
I doubt it would be a false.
yeah,
If they
I think it's
suspend
really
them.
rare with like drug tests.
I'm
which have been
sure.
around
I'm
for a
sure
while.
something comes up in your urine, they take blood immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's facts.
Especially with something like the NFL.
Yeah.
You know.
Multi-billion-dollar industry. So
Trillion,
Ah.
probably.
So
Maybe not.
Trillion's a lot.
Yeah, it is.
trillions a lot.
I just know, like, yeah, probably because I know each football team itself is
It's worth, like-
multiple billions, but that's not the league. They're a part of it, but like they don't own it. So yeah, it's not.
But I bet
trillions.
buying the league.
It's probably not that. It's probably similar to buying a team.
Wait, what do you mean?
Because like to buy a football team, it's like multiple billions, and you get the stadium. You're a part of the league, and you get the team. Just buying the leagues, you basically buy the headquarters of the assets, but then
Well, I
all
think
the rights to the.
I don't think anyone. I think the league
I
is
think the-
collectively owned by all the owners. Because like
Yeah,
Roger
it's a-
Goodell,
it's a league.
the commissioner, he's voted for, and like he's just a
So
representative.
if you
Yeah.
wanted to buy
Yeah,
the league,
yeah.
you'd have to buy every stadium.
you'd have to
Yeah.
own
Buy
the
every
team.
So I don't think you can own the
No,
NFL.
I don't think because NFL team or the NFL doesn't own teams. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, because
man,
it's a
that's what-
collection.
the
That's what we're
teams
saying.
own the NFL.
The teams are individual organizations.
Right,
They
they
come
make up-
together in a league
Right.
to decide rules, regulations, and everything like that.
Right.
So if you wanted to own the league, you'd have to buy every team and be the
no,
league.
No, because they're separate. There's separate ownership.
No, they're not.
Let's put it a
teams-
different way.
The teams, yeah. So if you bought every team out, you'd be the owner of every team in the league.
I get
Therefore,
that. I get that.
You would own the league.
I get that.
It wouldn't be a league. It would just be an organization fully.
Privately owned
It's a privately owned
organization
organization with a bunch of
beating each other
it's-
up.
It's definitely.
He's confused. We'll
No,
give him a
I'm
second.
not confused. Because, like, think of, like, Ohio sports. The OHSAA is a separate entity than each school. So I'm
No.
saying, yes, it is.
Well, go ahead.
And obviously the schools are in that OHSAA organization, league, whatever. I'm thinking, how is that building ran? Someone has to own it. You see what I'm
vote
saying?
for the people that oversee.
The state owns it.
Yeah,
Think of it like this.
The
Okay.
owners collectively.
We got to hurry this up.
Okay, all the states in America, yeah, everyone elects a governor. So let's say they oversee each state. Okay, now everybody, all those governors and the state
Well,
governments come together.
It's not government though. These are organizations.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
breaking it down for you, man.
We're breaking it
Okay.
down
They all
like
come
differently.
It's an
And
analogy.
they say to keep to unite everybody and set universal federal regulations and all that stuff. So just like the NFL, so just like sports, you regulate, you create laws and stuff like that, and you create standards. So they come together and create a federal government that encompasses everybody.
Yep.
But
The
they're all
concept's known
individual.
as federalism.
Yes. So now, if one state goes through, say you're the governor of one state. If you say, you know what, I'm going to go over and become the governor of the next state, and then the next state, and then eventually you're the governor of all the states, you are now that federal government because you encompass everything.
Yes.
So it's the same thing. So if each state is a team and you own that one team, then you say, I'm going to buy the next team. Then technically, if you only own two teams and everyone else owns different teams, then when you come together as the league and you all have your own say, technically, if you voted on something, you'd have one more vote than everybody else. You'd have two votes where every other team has one because you own two teams.
Okay, well, this is the question I'm asking now. So are the owners of each team on the NFL board? Do they
The
run
league?
the NFL?
They elect
They
representatives.
elect
to be on the
representatives to
board.
do that. They
It's-
elect and hire people to do that because obviously they have their own jobs overseeing a team. So they hire people and then they vote for people, but ultimately, like, they control the league.
Okay.
Because if they came together, they could make changes.
We
It's
have
like,
time for one question.
It's like we the people.
No, I was just saying we'll continue this in the next segment.
all right, yeah,
Hope y'all be in frame in the next segment.
Yeah, we'll have to.
yeah, we'll change it for you.
And,
Oh wait,
oh wait,
I'm on the wrong page.
Hold on. Second half.
My bad.
At
Okay.
point 34.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. We talk about.
Yep. Second
Yeah,
half.
yeah, it's the,
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Oh,
All right.
I got it up.
I
Okay,
think it's
going on right now.
welcome back.
So
Trey and
anyways.
Jacob are here.
Yeah, the rest of the squad's here.
joined us.
Well, I
Trey
was
joined
here
us.
last time.
Yeah, I was about to say,
At
were
the
you not
end.
here last time?
You weren't
Yeah,
here for the intro of the video and the intro of the last segment.
Oh,
So.
gee.
The intro of the last segment was
And you
pretty
guys could
good.
only see me for like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
That's right.
Sat down.
All right. So early in the first segment, we had talked about certain foods potentially coming up in
Drug tests.
on drug tests, and this did worry me. I recently took a drug test. I believe I will not fail, although I'm slightly worried a little bit.
What kind of drugs have you done recently?
We'll get there.
All the good
All
ones.
Sesame seeds,
So first
bro.
of all, I looked up what foods show up on drug tests, right? And the first response I got was the most redundant thing ever. It said edibles. Oh yeah, you think?
Yeah, really?
You think?
No.
You're kidding me.
JohnnyHolland.org.
Really?
Thanks, Captain Obvious. But then the second one was rather helpful, and I lost it.
Oh,
Hang on.
Gone with the wind.
Oh yeah. Okay. Watch your diet. Don't eat poppy seeds.
oh, that's it. Yep.
Yeah, I've heard.
Poppy
Yep, that's
seeds
it.
show up sometimes
Like heroin,
cocaine.
cocaine. Close enough.
Close enough.
It's the same thing.
That's
Which was
crazy.
odd because when I went to take this drug test, there's a Wendy's on the way there, and I got a burger. What were those seeds on top of the buns?
Sesame
I
seeds.
think it's sesame.
Yeah.
Bless.
I said sesame
Yeah,
seeds.
poppy
I thought
seeds
you were
on
sesame
top.
seeds.
Because you need to take a drug test. You have to be able to pee, right? Like on command. I don't have that ability, and I drank a lot of water before I left, but I just didn't have to pee, so I decided I'd stop and get a drink.
I did that on purpose. When I took my drug test for work, I was like, bro, I'm gonna have to like make sure I'm chugging water because what if
Yeah.
I go in there and I'm freaking dry?
Yeah.
And I have to sit there like, yo, nurse, you have to wait like 30 minutes.
Well, the funny story about that, I drank so much beforehand I didn't have to pee, so I got a large soda at Wendy's before
what?
I went. Pop soda. I got a beverage before I went, and God,
I got this soda.
yeah, and I drank the whole thing before I went in, and then I had to sit in the waiting room and fill out paperwork, and I already had to use the restroom.
Yeah, then you have to. Then
then I had to fill
You
all the
mistimed
stuff.
it. You got to go early.
And then I turned the paperwork in, and I sat there, and I sat there, and I sat there. And I'm not saying anything about the service, right? I just had to use the bathroom so bad. And I got in there, and they didn't even want to do the test first. They want to do the physical. And I had to ask to do the test first.
Really?
Because I had to pee so bad.
That's
and then I
funny.
was in there, and you said you didn't want to sit in there for 30 minutes with like a shite bladder, right?
Yeah.
I didn't want to sit in there for 30 minutes because I just kept going.
Yeah.
It wouldn't stop. I felt so bad. You fill up a cup, right? And it's not even that. It's barely like that much, right?
That's all they
The cup's
want.
Not that tall or like that wide. It took me so long. I filled it up, put it to the side.
And then,
Like it just
yeah.
kept going and kept going and kept going and kept going. And the whole time I'm like sweating more and more because I'm like, she thinks I'm doing something in here. Like she thinks.
Well, she didn't watch you?
No.
What?
She lets you in a clean
What?
bare
Yeah.
bathroom. She
What do
lets you in a clean
uh,
bare bathroom. You're not allowed to
You
flush.
might want to file that.
Yeah,
later.
hold on. We got a story.
You're not allowed to
Finish.
flush the bath. You're not allowed to flush the toilet.
Yeah, they turn off the water.
And
The
then
place that I
when
went to.
you place all your belongings in a cabinet. And to be honest, if I really wanted to, there's probably a few ways I could have done it. But like they do like a temp test and stuff like that
Yeah.
as well. So there's a bunch of ways that they like try to keep an eye on you without keeping an eye on you. But you're not allowed to have cameras in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Really did keep an eye
And
on
I
him.
don't think they're allowed to be
I thought
visually
I
in there.
I don't
Like,
remember now. You're making me question if it actually happened, but I thought when I did mine for work, she was like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna stand here."
No.
No. So to make sure I didn't like pull something out of my pocket or anything.
Yeah,
Like
no,
a bag
you
of piss out of my pocket.
Yeah. So did she like? Were you guys both in the bathroom?
Well, it was just like one big room, and there was a toilet in the corner, and
Oh,
that's all I had to do was.
Where
go
was
in.
this? A back alley?
I think. No, it was nicer than that. It was a
Yeah.
clean alley.
Oh, I got you. That makes sense. Yeah, no. When I went, you just go in the back room, and it's kind of an office. It's like a medical hub next to like the reception area.
Yeah.
There's a blank bathroom, like it's a door, it's a room. It's entirely bare except for a toilet, a handrail, and then like a small little table that just like juts out from the wall. and you place the cup when you're done, which was very handy for me because I was going for a few minutes after that. Dude, I was really so nervous. I walked out of there and she acted like nothing happened. I'm sure she's done it so many times.
Doesn't even get her.
It didn't even phase her. Like, it didn't even register that something was weird.
Yeah, well, I'm sure for her that it's not really her job to make sure you're not like
Low key is her job.
I mean, kind of, but she probably knows that it would be very difficult for you to do something successfully. So I'm sure she doesn't she doesn't probably get like worked up or suspicious.
I mean, if it was literally 5 minutes, she'd probably like, everything all right in there? But no,
Like,
it was like 3 minutes.
I'm just using someone else's piss. Hang on.
But no, it took so long, and it was so awkward. Like,
Isaiah's got the old fuel change going in.
yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's it. It just took me so long. I should not have stopped for that soda.
So when you fail your drug test, you're going to tell your mom that was the poppy seeds,
Poppy
not
seeds.
the hardcore heroin or something you were
Yeah.
doing the week
Like,
before.
oh
Yeah, it
man,
was
I
just
forgot I had the
seeds.
bag of poppy seeds. I
Yeah.
found.
Yeah.
Dang.
Your mom's going to be
Bag
like,
of
yeah,
poppy
Isaiah,
seeds.
that was probably it. That was
Yeah.
probably
I
it.
pack. That's what I have for breakfast every morning is poppy seeds. Don't they make you sleepy? Poppies?
I mean, not if it's
Or like the Paul?
Yeah. I guess how they got the Wizard of Oz, bro.
Because in the Wizard of Oz, it was supposed to be magical, right?
Yeah.
But that's real. Like poppy pollen or whatever is in like poppy seeds. Like, it's supposed to make you sleepy.
Mm-hmm. I think that's right. That sounds right.
So that's the worst thing to eat in the morning. You should eat that for dessert.
Yeah, but after dinner.
So
back to your story.
Yeah.
So we need to file something for you.
Yeah, because that is definitely.
It's almost 2 years at this point. I don't even care.
I think
It's fine.
It's relatively normal for there to be a stall, and like you go in the room and they're like outside the stall, which is less privacy than what I had, but they can tell more.
Like I said, I really don't remember at this point anymore. But like in my memory bank, I could have sworn it was like a.
Well, I feel like it would be really hard for it to be that botched because if you think it was all one room,
It might have been its own like little bathroom, I guess. No. First
I
thought,
don't know
my
how you
first
get it.
memory though was not that way.
I'm
though.
gonna
get it mixed
describe
up.
my story.
Okay, go.
Just
go
for those people out there that probably have never done a drug test. So I went in. Obviously, you go into like a one little doctor's office, and they talk to you, do a bunch of stuff, ask you questions or whatever. Then what? And again, I'm gonna tell you my story because yours is probably different, and yours is really different. You don't even know.
I don't remember. It's been so long already.
Then she gave me this cup. It was like a decent size, like just cup, measuring cup. He's like, "Yep, go and pee and fill at least to this line." So I'm like, "All right." I go and I fill, and I'm like, "What do I do when I'm done?" She's like, "Oh, just come back out." I'm like, "All right." So I literally peed in the cup, peed the rest in the toilet, and I just literally walked out the door with a cup of pee in my
It's
hand.
so awkward, and you hand it to
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
just
So
like-
yours is the same me.
There
They
it
just hand
is.
it to them. They're just like, "All right," take it, and then they
Fill some
stick their
stuff out.
tube
Did you
or
like put your initials on it at the top?
on the bag. Yeah.
On a bag? Oh,
think so.
She just labeled a bunch of stuff. It was so awkward because she had it. She put like 4 different labels on it, and then she was just holding my cup of pee, just like going
Yeah,
down, writing a bunch of stuff on it. And then she's like, "All right, sign this."
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, because the big thing is supposed to be transparent. So, like, to make sure that the person you're with isn't like screwing you over or
Yeah.
anything. So you have to watch them too. Like, okay, make sure I do everything right and sign here if.
Nah, mine.
It's all
mine
legit.
just did it.
So she's not sprinkling anything in there.
Right. So she like took out a whole bunch of different like samples or whatever, put it in baggies, and like I had to initial all the baggies, and then she just handed me the cup back. She's like, "All right, you can dump it in the toilet and then flush it." I was like,
Oh, I wasn't
right.
there for that process.
they just took the cup and then
She took the cup. She labeled it for all the different tests. I'm assuming it needs to go through, and then I signed saying, "Yep, send it through all those," or "Yes, this is mine."
so really I just had to dump my own cup back and you didn't.
Yeah, someone else had
Basically.
to dump my cup of pee.
Yeah.
back in the toilet.
Yeah, because I always thought how it used to be is there was a separate box where you'd pee and you put it in, you'd close it, and then on the other side they would get it out and do their tests or whatever.
That would be funny. It's like just a big machine. You're like, "All right, aim there. It'll be done in 5 minutes."
No, like you would pee in a cup and then you'd put the
Sounds
cup in like
Dr.
a
Seuss
cabinet.
machine.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about?
What?
No, what?
You'd pee in the cup, and then you would open up, and it would be like a double-sided cabinet. You put it in, you close the door, and then they open it from like the other side.
No, what? It's not a speakeasy.
Yeah.
It's not for like.
Dude, I know because the doctor's office. There was a
I've never
long
imagined.
time ago when I did a pee test or whatever, and the doctor's office had that. I know that for a fact. I guess it may have changed now.
I guess
it
it
just
just
seemed
changed.
that seemed a lot more normal than me just walking out with a cup in my hand.
And
like,
just handing it.
Here.
That was the worst part. I don't like walk out and just like
yeah.
Still better than getting watched. So
that's
I mean,
cool.
Fair enough.
This all reminds me of
maybe she had a thing for you, Luke.
Maybe.
Maybe she was like, "Hey, yo."
Hey, guys. Probably never
How
find
long
her
ago was
back.
this?
Like fall of 20.
definitely didn't.
It's almost
How
2
old
years.
were you?
19.
Oh, okay.
oh, you're of age.
You're 20 now.
Yeah, fall of
Oh,
2020.
fall of 20. That's not-
2020.
You said fall of 20.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
fall
really-
fall of 2020 to be
he's
more
a really
specific.
old 20-year-old
Yeah.
right now.
I'm an
Mhm.
old for my grade person.
You don't remember that? That was like a year and a half ago, and you don't remember.
Yeah.
I think I remember.
You don't. You have terrible memory too. Just for the
Yeah,
record.
but I could remember if someone watched me pee.
I remember most of my
And
traumas.
you can't remember what you had for breakfast yesterday?
I will, just because you said that. What I have for breakfast.
That's still
yesterday.
different than
Yesterday
someone watching
morning.
you.
He still continues to say he has terrible memory, but like
I
you
do.
remember certain things.
I do.
It's regular for people's emotions to spike when they realize they've been through trauma in the past.
Yeah, you remember that.
Just bear with us here.
PTSD.
This is going to turn into a therapy session for Luke.
First
No, but
time.
This reminds me of an episode of Pawn Stars where a guy came in with some like old badge or something he was trying to sell. He's only trying to sell for like $50, and it's just kind of a cool historical piece from like 1975 military or something. But they got talking, and the guy explained his whole routine for getting through his physical before basic, right?
Oh, okay.
So, and he said there's just massive lines of people. Like they're putting like thousands of people through physicals, and they had to do a drug test. And he's like, "Yep, I pretty much just walked up, had to like walked up to a table. They handed me a cup, and they're like, all right, piss in the cup." And he was like, "Where?" And they're like, "Oh, just right here." So he just, like every guy there, like I'm talking like 100-yard long tables, just thousands of guys walk up to the table, get a cup, piss in it, label it, hand it, move on with the physical. And it was just funny listening to that.
Efficiency right there.
Yeah, because like right, and they watched you too. Just
Yeah.
pissed in the cup right there. This was also 1975,
Yeah.
1970.
Little different.
So,
You have to be more protective now and everything.
yeah.
Yeah.
Especially now that it's not only guys in the military. I'm sure there wasn't only guys back then, yeah, obviously, but
Not as much as now.
yeah,
Yeah.
as much as it is now. So you remember what you had for breakfast?
Oh, maybe.
You're distracted.
Oh, so
Yesterday
morning?
Yesterday morning,
Yesterday
Saturday,
morning.
Saturday the 21st
It shouldn't be that hard.
Of May.
Think backwards.
of May of
What
2022.
did we do Friday night?
Yeah, go backwards.
We were at Riley's.
Yep, I remember.
I
that.
got blitzed.
Yep. We woke up. It
Football.
was Saturday.
Yeah.
He was a quarterback.
Yeah. Yeah. We were playing football in the backyard.
I didn't have breakfast
They were trying to get the quarterback.
yesterday morning.
What did you have for lunch then? I know you had to have had something on Saturday before we went out
I actually
again.
didn't have lunch either. I remember that because the only food I ate on Saturday, I had two little pizza things I threw in the oven. That was the first thing I ate all day.
Yummy.
That sounds terrible.
They were good.
Not eating all day.
Well, there's your answer.
Oh no, the food sounds good, but
Yeah. Okay.
I'd more or less than not eating food till 5 o'clock at night.
But let's finish our NFL.
Oh yeah.
No, what do you want to call
Okay.
it? Story.
Yeah.
So, all right.
What's your question on that? What's
Nothing. I think I gotta understand now.
Hopefully Trey can pitch in.
I did a little
Explain this as
research.
well.
It's like what I saw is it's a mix of both
Yeah,
because
Bro, that's what we said.
that's what we said.
Federalism.
The league wouldn't exist unless all the teams came
no.
together.
I'm saying the NFL league.
Yes.
Like, is it possible? Like, I was thinking, is it its own separate entity,
No.
organization?
No.
It kind of is.
It exists because the teams exist.
It's not.
Otherwise,
it's
it
not.
wouldn't
It's an
exist.
independent-
Like we keep saying, it's like the federal government. It exists because it has something to govern,
Yeah.
It exists because
and the
teams
people
decided
employ it
should.
with power.
Yeah, agree.
Okay,
So,
But
We're
a
agreed
few
then.
things,
I agree. But,
But
like it's separate than the teams.
it
It's
has
not
to
the
be,
same
because
thing.
if the teams dictated exactly what it, how it operated. Well, okay. So no, it's not exactly separate. Now that I think about it, no.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. I think it is.
How?
Well, a few
Obviously,
reasons.
the team. It only has power because all the teams can't unify their decisions. That's why they needed the league, and that's why they hired people.
Yeah, as a separate
and
separate
voted
entity
people.
to create the rules that governs all. Just
So,
like
yeah,
how
it's
federal
different-
government
it's
is a
different.
different separate
So, yeah,
entity from the
it's-
state.
Obviously, it's different than a team.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm
Thank
saying. They
you.
were separate. You just said they weren't separate, bro. Did he not just say that?
What?
Did he not just say they weren't separate? It was the same thing. I'm saying they were separate.
So you're trying. So the argument.
Well,
is,
I was thinking in terms of like rule making, but then obviously no, because teams don't make rules. So yeah, they're separate in that.
Right.
There's also the NFL Player Association, which
Yeah,
has a big
so-
part in like kind of.
I think
That's like players' rights, though.
yeah, that's like a union of a work. Like it plays in, but I don't think that's like
Yeah, it's like a union that
Yeah.
controls the power and the
it
decision
protects
making of the NFL.
protects the players basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So what is your main thesis here?
Well, I don't. I'm just saying
Yeah, what are
like.
we trying to get at right now?
What's your thinking? What's your
Well, this originally transpired from me saying, "Could you just buy the NFL as an organization?"
No.
and we said
the answer to
well,
that is
technically
you could.
if you,
You
bought
could.
every team,
Yeah.
you would own the league
Yeah.
because you own every team.
Yeah.
That's what we said.
Yep.
So yes,
But
you can't
Then
just
how
buy it
would you
outright.
buy?
Yeah,
how
you
would
can't
you
just
buy
buy
the
the
copyright in the name and likeness of the NFL?
I don't think you do. You would have it in the so many different teams.
Yeah, I kind of get what you're saying now, Devin. Because how would
It's like-
how would you get the name and likeness? Because if you would buy all the teams, then you would own the rights to the NFL copyright.
Yeah, but the thing is,
If
the
you buy-
NFL's not
well,
going to
so
be
there's-
sold.
I don't think. I see what you mean.
Okay.
Yeah, if you buy all the teams, and all the teams come together to form the league, then you technically control the NFL, and therefore you own the copyrights. But you would have to basically own the teams, and then I don't know how the teams come.
Or does
like,
does the elected commissioner?
yeah,
own the
I don't know how the
copyright?
teams convene, whether the owners vote for it. Because if you're all the owners, if you're the owner of every team and you vote yourself, then you're the president. And then you yourself can say, yeah, I want you because you'll agree with me, and I want you because you'll agree with me. And then whatever team or employees are in charge of the copyright, like, yeah, you don't. As long as you get people that agree 100% with you. Or you just change the league itself to say, I'm like supreme commander of every different function of the league. Because then you just don't. So yes, you could, but you can't just buy it outright. Unless you had
It'd be a
enough money.
process.
Unless you had enough money to influence the owners.
Well,
to
yeah.
become the
Technically, you
president,
wouldn't have to own them all. You just have to do majority.
to vote yourself in.
Right.
But then there would be opposition to you in trying to like own all of it, like the NFL LC.
But is that how the commissioner like gets elected? Is it by the?
That's-
Yeah, I don't know how it gets.
That's
elected.
what I think is
Yeah.
kind of throwing us
I
all
think.
off.
I think
'Cause, like,
yes.
I don't think I fully understand how that is. I just saw something that they said Roger
Well,
Goodell's
obvious-
contract was almost up, and they were about to
Mm.
elect
Yeah.
a new one.
So my thought process again, like I know just as much as you guys, but if you own a team, you can fire and hire a head coach. Yeah, you can
Yeah.
fire and hire anybody, right?
Yeah, the head coach of the team that's under you. Yeah.
Well, that if you can do that, you can fire and hire anybody. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
And if you can't do it directly, you can hire
Anyone
a
on-
coach that'll do it.
Yeah, anyone on your team.
yeah,
Yeah,
anyone
you
on
can,
your
you
team.
can get anything out. You can get anyone in. So whoever's in charge of electing or like casting a vote in the league, if that's how it is, then
But-
and you have direct influence over them. And so if you don't cast that vote yourself, so if you own every team, I think theoretically you have the vote.
Yeah, but
You have your vote to do whatever you
I
want.
feel like whoever would own or like appoints the person that owns the league would be separate from like the owner. Like I don't think the owner could control who's electing who because it'd be just basically them then because they just hire someone that has the same viewpoint as them in the end run.
Yeah, so it might
That's
as well
kinda
just
what
be
we're
the-
saying.
It might as well just
Yeah,
be the owner then
but I don't think.
that can cast the vote.
Yeah, but I don't think that the owner has control over that person.
But
probably.
where did that person come from? If the owners came together to make the league,
Yeah, but I
the
don't,
league because the league couldn't have been there first to give them that
Fair
person to vote.
I'm gonna look up how
Because
then again-
gets hired.
Because the league, you know what I'm saying? The league,
I do, but then again, there's also there's so many imperfections in this problem right
Oh,
now.
okay,
We're working
yeah.
through- because another thing is the NFL is a parent company. Like they have like companies under them, and also I read that the NFL is a privately owned company. So I was like, or a privately owned organization. So I'm like, okay.
well, what do you mean? Yeah, the owners. Except for the Packers, that gets funny.
yeah, I think we're missing something. I think there is something that owns the NFL.
It's
That's-
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Did you look at who
Because
owns the NFL?
then,
control
like
it.
Isaiah was saying, the Packers and other teams
the city of Green Bay
Oh,
gonna
the
start-
Packers,
they started to sell shares. Yeah.
Yeah.
which is awesome,
But
which is
then
actually really
there
cool.
would be somebody who is in charge of inputting.
There still has to be a
Yeah.
general manager and a president.
What is Trey learning?
So I think the owners do appoint the commissioner because it says like they can
When we
vote.
do that, I don't know
Yeah.
why you're all hype.
mean,
we were
we did-
arguing.
That's what I said.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Right, we're right. I'm
Because
sorry.
they have the authority to fire him by like a majority vote, pretty much. So I'm guessing that they hire
So
him.
if
So
you
they vote for
own
the hire. So if
So
you
if
own all the
you
teams,
the
majority
majority
of the teams.
majority of
and
the
you- and
shares
you vote
of the
yourself.
teams. Because like let's say
Oh,
some
yeah,
teams,
yeah, yeah.
it's like let's say you own 51% of the Packers shares, and then 15 other teams you own 51%. Technically, you own the league.
Or
don't-
you could just
I
buy
wouldn't-
17
yeah.
of the teams.
I'd say you only own the league if you have like all the shares, but you are in charge of the league if you have the majority of the shares of 15.
You hold the most power. We're not going to say you're in charge, but you hold
enough,
the most
if you have
power.
enough power to vote yourself like league commissioner all on your own with no other votes cast for you,
Yeah.
People are still going to resent you for that, though.
Even if you're commissioner,
depends
though,
if
do you
you're
really
not.
own the league? Because it's just your job, really. Like you're just
Yeah.
in that position. You don't really own.
You're just
the
running the
NFL's
league.
entire.
Yeah.
Like the president.
So
doesn't
yeah, to own the league,
anything.
I would say
But
you own every single thing that gives them revenue. If you own all of that and you are in charge of all of that, I'd say you own the league.
But
Because if you shut all that off, the league fails.
don't the owners make Goodell's salary too?
Mm-hmm.
So I'd say that's what it is.
I don't know.
I think because we were talking how economic and like we were talking about the economic like decisions that the NFL has to make compared to political decisions that the NFL has to make. But if you own everything, if you own all the teams, where else does the NFL get their money from?
Well, let's just say half of the teams, a little over half the teams, if you have majority.
No. Think about all the teams. If you own all the teams, where else is the NFL getting their money from that's not you?
No, I mean, there's quite a lot of places.
Well, where? What is it?
They own the publication rights,
'cause
like
you'd
Shem
have
was
to-
saying. So every time they put it on air and they get ratings, the NFL gets paid. The NFL has their own YouTube channels, social medias. They have their own TV
Yeah,
merchandise.
TV
But that-
channel.
but
They have
that-
this the
that-
NFL show.
that
They have the
comes from-
NFL shops
Yeah.
where people buy like
That comes from
jerseys and stuff.
Yeah, but that comes from voting yourself as the commissioner and then controlling all of that. So if you own all the teams and you're commissioner, I think you have theoretically you have the power to fire and hire anybody in any department. Then you control everything economically about the NFL league. Therefore, I think you own it.
Yeah.
From
I
a-
guess
from a
You could
theoretical-
take control of
From
the
a
entire
theoretical
NFL.
standpoint, you own the
it's
league.
kind of a ticky tacky. Like, at what point do you own something? Is it when majority? Because if you have the majority of the teams, you can control the league,
You
and
can do whatever
basically
you want.
I'd say if you have control of
can.
every decision the league makes,
every
Then
single
you own
decision.
it.
Because
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
have the majority,
So that's
you still
that's
are
majority.
dependent economically on the other teams.
But the other teams aren't the league.
They're part of the league, so you don't own them.
That's to go back to are they separate or the same thing? Because I thought we decided that they are a separate entity.
They come together to create the league. Therefore,
yeah, here's the question. So say like you own 25 teams. Could the other 7 teams say, and you elect yourself commissioner, could they just say, well, we're out of the
Different
NFL.
Yeah.
We'll just
they
play
can-
amongst ourselves now.
They can pull out of the league, I think, and then they could just join like the XFL or something if they wanted to.
They
just make their
Or
own
the
They can make
league.
their own
what's
league.
like the American whatever.
Or they could literally
NFL or
just
whatever.
They could
play games and sell tickets.
Probably.
I mean, you don't really have to have a league. You just say,
Yeah.
this is an event that's happening. Pay
Yeah.
this much to come.
Ticket, yeah.
And then just another version of the NFL will show up again, though.
Yeah. It would just grow.
The same issue would come
Well,
back
yeah, 'cause,
around.
yeah, the NFL, the league was created for.
If you
a
had the
reason.
money, if you weren't able to run it as well, it could definitely go under.
Yeah. But yeah, I think when we're talking about the league in its entirety, like owning it, if you want to own the league, you have to own everything underneath it. But
Well-
when we're going closer and looking at the teams, then yeah, the teams are
Again,
separate
like I think it's like very ticky tacky on what does own mean? Because like, does Elon Musk own Tesla?
No.
because there's shareholders.
Yeah,
It's-
he's
private.
a majority shareholder,
yeah,
so he doesn't own Tesla.
no.
Okay.
So
then I guess
you
you,
have to
would
own-
have to own all
you
the
have to own
teams.
every aspect of it and make the decision.
Yeah, but I guess it's
own
weird because you could control the NFL by owning the
Yeah.
majority.
But you wouldn't own it.
Yeah, so it's kind of just words.
Yeah, so
get very
control rather
specific.
than own. Yeah.
But
Yeah, I'd say the league
it's just it's
in
difficult.
saying whether they're separate or together, I think it's like a umbrella kind of thing.
It's weird
Like
because, like I was saying earlier,
when you're thinking of just like the league itself, then yeah, they're all together. But when you when you get closer and you're talking about control or like owning, then I'd say they're separate because you have to own every single different team, and then everything's ran different under them. And then okay. So if you own every team and the league, it's together, right? Because you make every decision. But as it is right now, it's each team is owned by different people, and there's different commissioners, so it's different. So they're separate. So I guess we're at two different stages before.
yeah,
So in theory, in this, it would be one, but as it is right now, it's separate.
okay.
Even though they come together to vote.
It's actually like a really complex problem if you think about like
Yeah.
the technicalities. Because like another thing, like I was saying earlier, the NFL is a parent company, so there's a few like companies that are under them that like the NFL owns. So like
Yeah.
I think one was like I think it was like Genesis Sports or something, Genesis Entertainment. I feel like I've heard that
heard the
before.
name.
So let's just assume that they own the company Genesis. Who owns that? Is it
The NFL
is it?
Yeah.
or the NFL,
Yeah, if
whatever.
they're under the NFL, I would say.
But who owns that? So you're saying the owners of the teams.
So
because
Yes.
they own the NFL,
Well, if
they
it-
make up the NFL.
So I'm actually
No,
not.
it's whoever they elect into power to be the current
Yeah.
commissioner or owner
But-
of the
well,
NFL.
No, hold on. We just said there isn't an owner of the NFL.
Yeah,
No,
if
Devin,
you get elected
Devin.
into power, you pretty
If
much
you own all the
it.
teams and you elect yourself commissioner, you make all the decisions, you control everything economically, you own every team and everything and every company under it.
So you're saying the commissioner owns the NFL?
Control.
If you own
no.
all the teams and you vote and you elect
Okay.
yourself the commissioner,
But if you don't, like
Okay.
Ray is,
So as of right
No,
now,
yeah, they're talking about how it is right now.
Yeah.
No,
Like, this
right
is a
now,
whole
no.
different
As of right now,
situation.
no.
who owns Genesis then? Who has the power?
the
Who-
NFL
league.
So you're saying the owners of the teams owns Genesis because they own the NFL, they make up the NFL.
Well, what we have to make clear what a parent and sister company relationship would be because sometimes
It's just one company that owns another, but it's
yeah.
separate.
But what are there shareholders in this daughter company? There pretty much has to be if you want to start something.
You're pretty
up.
much saying any public company cannot be owned by a single entity
Yeah.
because there's multiple shareholders.
yeah.
But you have to. But the
Well,
word
I think
owned is
it's-
commonly used to reference to the person that makes all the decisions and
Yeah.
controls all the power of the company.
It's controlled by the league, and I'd say it's not. Sure, it's unless there's a bunch of if there's zero shareholders, and the company is entirely
there is. There is.
created-
There's no. It's not a share. It's not
okay,
stockable.
so it's entirely created and funded by the NFL, right? It's directly linked to the NFL. There's no one else in between. Then, sure, I guess if that's the way they do it, then the teams of the NFL control it because they elect the commissioner.
Okay, so I was
They
saying.
control the commissioner in
Yeah.
a way.
Yeah, like
commissioner
through the
makes
chain,
these
through the chain of
decisions,
command, right?
And these decisions go down and affect New Genesis. They
Yeah.
affect the companies. So it's controlled by them, but I wouldn't say they own it because if you're thinking of it in like, you could think of it like this: each team has their own share in that
Of Genesis.
because they
Right.
have one vote and everyone else has one vote
yeah,
in that. So they have a share, but they don't own it. So if you own all the teams,
right,
you
right,
make
right.
yourself the commissioner.
Yeah, that's
make all
what,
the
that's what I was saying earlier.
You own
so
the- you own the company.
The owners of the teams basically through the chain
Yeah,
own Genesis and all the
collectively.
the
But
children.
one,
right,
one-
right.
yeah.
Right.
You wouldn't say one owner.
So like, let's just say one owner has 1/32 of Genesis, basically,
And they have one
Yeah.
32nd influence or
right,
control
right.
over it too.
Assuming that the owners, like what we were talking about, assuming the owners make the decisions.
Yeah,
in the
well, I
NFL.
feel like-
but they
I feel-
probably make no decisions
they,
for Genesis.
yeah,
Yeah.
No,
It's
They-
probably people that are all on the NFL
Yeah.
league side that
Well, think about
elect
it.
for
Well,
them.
we do have to
Owners-
we do have to wrap this up.
Oh
Though.
yeah.
So in the conclusion, money makes money.
Yes.
Basically.
We
Anyways,
need money. So
We need money.
follow
You
us
want to
on
see us
TikTok.
own the NFL?
Yeah. We'll start on an NFL team. You guys
So-
gotta
Subscribe. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Smash all
Go
the
check
buttons you're
Instagram at
Yeah.
speaking_sporadically. TikTok at speaking sporadically. Give everything a like on there. Share it. Do whatever. Share with your friends. And hope you have a fantastic week.
We'll see you guys next week.
Peace.
We're just gonna let this time out.